Well, g'day there friends and traders right around the world. Thanks for joining me on this Wednesday afternoon market recap. Today's date is the 19th of November 2014. What I'd like to do to begin with is, of course, congratulate students and traders right around the world for placing this bidirectional trade setup on Netflix today. Netflix has resolved itself from the Bollinger Band to the downside. It broke down $18.29 on the daily candle. Very, very nice selling volume coming into Netflix as, of course, we break down below the support established for the past 4 weeks, roughly, worth of trading. A very, very nice trade setup, a Bollinger Band squeeze, which is starting to break out. I've done the quick maths, and according, if you follow to, of course, my options criteria, each put contract that you would have been triggered into today should have left you with anywhere between $600 to $700 worth of profit. That, of course, is contingent orders based on the market price of the stock. For instance, if you were trading 10 puts, just put another zero on the end of that figure, you'll get a vicinity or a target of at least $6,000 to $7,000 on those put trades to the downside, just based off, of course, today's price action. Now, the good news is that the Netflix trade is not over. I do believe it is only starting. So watch those profits grow as Netflix continues to move lower. First of all, and ultimately, I should say my ultimate target is down here at $331. Give or take a couple of bucks. If we get anywhere near this hammer candlestick, going back to mid-October, I will start taking positions off the table on Netflix. Other than that, I will keep you updated as to how Netflix is moving. Let me just change to the Bollinger Bands and show you the volatility breakout. You can see how tight these Bollinger Bands got. It was only a matter of time until the volatility came back into Netflix. It didn't bother us which direction it chose to break out. These three triggers up here, they are not past trades. They were all contingent orders for myself if Netflix chose, of course, to break bullish instead of bearish. So we really set ourselves up both ways. It didn't bother us which direction it wanted to move. The good news is, traders and friends right around the world, we're starting to see the breakdown in the price of Netflix. And to be completely frank, on the downside, we have $40 of intrinsic value, whereas if it broke to the upside, we were really looking at $20 of intrinsic value. You can see my targets here, 417, based off the breakout, roughly around this 396 area. So the downside, the direction which is breaking, has got twice the amount of target. It's got at least twice as far to run, which equates to more profit for us as technical traders trading the stock market. So I wanted to say, first of all, if you were into one put, that, of course, will allow you to participate in the class for over a year. This one trade, this one day, this one put option, if you did place it, would allow you to stay in the pro analysis class for over 1 year. It's only $50 per month to stay in that class. I'm just alluding to the fact that this is an incredible trade setup. Very, very nice work on behalf of students and people right around the world participating in it. I just wanted to take the time to congratulate you on that Netflix trade. I'm very excited to see how that trade will move throughout the week. Apple today almost stopped us out at $113.76. You can see this shooting star candlestick really going back to Monday this week, has set us up with a very nice stop loss on this particular trade. 110.78 was the entry. I keep my stop at 113.76. There's a good chance that if the market continues to move lower, based of course on what Netflix and a couple of other tech stocks are doing, such as Google, there's a good chance that Apple, or you will be out of Apple as at Thursday's trading session. Moving on, Amazon today, another inside day spinning top. You know how to trade this based on the past videos which I've spoken about. Baidu seems to be breaking down out of that stair step pattern. So that 253.05 contingent order is starting to break down. The good news is that we are sitting on that 18 simple moving average. Not a whole lot to talk about in the Baidu trade. Ladies and gentlemen, what does this look? So let me rephrase that. What does this look like on Caterpillar setting up right now? Does that look familiar to anyone in this analysis class or anyone watching this YouTube update? To me, this looks like another Bollinger Band trade or another Bollinger Band squeeze, which makes me happy. Again, knowing that we have some additional trades coming to us next week. Caterpillar is set to move also. I will keep you updated over the weekend on that particular stock. The same is true with Disney. Have a look at this. So although the market has been moving quite rapidly over the past 3 weeks as it's bounced off from that long-term support on all three of the US markets, really trades are starting to set themselves up right now. The same is true with Disney. Please pay attention to that particular stock. FAS is still in that bull flag, or what appears to be a bull flag. Same trade trigger on that particular stock. Facebook today breaking down below that primary trend line. Interesting. Let me just have a quick look at the volume here. Pretty decent volume, more or less neutral in the way of volume. You can't say, look, that this is, or the majority of participants are jumping on this. We are still sitting on that 100 simple moving average. And if anything is to go by, if you look at these oscillators, we are overbought. So please expect at least that continuation trade trigger to at least move over the next coming days or weeks. I do believe Facebook is going to, of course, move to the upside when the market starts to bounce higher. Also, Google today came within a couple of cents of our first target here. The low of today's candlestick was $539.19. Our target was $539.16. If you were watching this intraday, you had the opportunity to exit out of Google. Other than that, again, it's continuing to move to the downside. It may take a couple more days to hit our target down here, but you can see the basic trade setup in and of itself below 548.56, very, very close to that first target. The trade is by all means not done. It's still a pretty decent trade setup. It's still moving lower. How today, look at this, another Bollinger Band squeeze breakout coming very, very close to that $47.60 entry. It's not really a go-to stock for me right now, based of course off what Netflix has done. When you get a very good week worth of trading, when there's a trade which is absolutely skyrocketed in the way of its momentum move, or at least the intrinsic value built into, of course, those positions or those call positions, put positions, whatever you want to call it. You don't really need to go fishing or over trading for additional stocks. You can just say, look, it's been a great trading week. I don't want to risk any money on trades which aren't as nice as the one which I've just entered into. That's my current feeling on how, although it is a good trade below 47.60, it's one of those ones where it's like, I'm not willing to risk it based on what has occurred already in this week, put it that way. So that's a quick update on HAL Netflix. I've spoken about a lot of downside price action still to go. Roughly $30 if this trade wants to work out, which is going to be absolutely incredible for traders who are positioned nicely in those Netflix put options. Starbucks today, it's still sort of flirting around that 77.81 entry. Not a whole lot to keep you updated on in the way of Starbucks. Tesla today gave you 3 days to exit at our target at $257.20. You can see it's jumped back down. It's pulled back down. That is not a loss by any means. That was a very profitable trade for everyone in that class. You can just see again, Tesla is really struggling to break above that old resistance up here at $260. We do have a nice gap. If I zoom in on the detail, we have a very, very nice gap. Is this something that I'm looking at trading right away? No, it's not. It really isn't. It has to break really or roughly 240 for the time being. It's something which potentially could set up, but there are better trades out there which should have your attention more so than the setup on Tesla or what is occurring on Tesla. Twitter today back down at that support level. Another little bit of a bearish dark candlestick. Not a whole lot to take away out of the daily price action. So really today's video was all about Netflix. Congratulations on placing that trade. Pretty decent trade setup. It has rewarded us very, very nicely. There are other trades setting up. Most importantly, Cat, Disney, Facebook, Google very close to our target. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, tighten your stop on Apple. Keep it at about 113.76. Just lock in that $3 of intrinsic value. Again, what I said is that if we get above the candlestick on Tuesday, consider closing out of your positions nonetheless, because I do believe we are going to set up a sideways market move, or at least a bull flag. That's my thoughts on Apple. So at least bank some of that profit and say, look, this was another good trade that I was entered into. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic Wednesday evening. Enjoy the Netflix trade. I do hope and do intend that it is going to break and resolve itself to the downside even more. Very excited to see how this trade works out. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.